wrestling kids and the millions listening live around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for the round table.
Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Roundtable Wrestling. I am one of your esteemed hosts, Keith the Wild Man Miller, and I am joined by my colleagues Pablo Kino Aquino
Skibidi Wrestling.
and Brent, the Nightmare Ward.
Hello, everyone.
And Brent, you got some news for us to kick things off today?
I do, man. Man, there's some crazy stuff going on. Okay. Let's see. Where do we want to start here? Well, Brock Lesnar possibly returning to the WWE.
I mean, I don't know. I think you guys know at this point how I feel about possiblies. I don't put much stock into them until they're actuallys. And to be completely honest, what is Brock Lesnar? I mean, what's he going to offer? You know?
Yeah, I agree. To be honest, I don't have any excitement to see him. We have such a young roster of up and coming, very strong wrestlers that can do everything. They can talk on the mic. They're actual good characters. They put on good matches. They're there week to week. I don't need another part-timer with a crazy well, we thought his contract was crazy before we knew all the details. But specifically,
right,
we don't have enough space on TV, especially we're all going to 2 hours. There's not enough space on the card for another, like a Brock Lesnar. Like, to be honest, I feel like he's somebody that needs to be scrubbed.
Yeah, he would just be taking up a spot on a pay-per-view that could go to somebody who's been there working, you know?
Yeah, think about how many times he took away the main event from Finn and Balor, took away from Kevin Owens, took away from Samoa Joe while he was here, took it away from everybody, and then all he would do is just take up more space because he's not a mid-carder, he's not a tag title guy, he's only in one place. He's either fighting a monster or fighting somebody for a title. That's it.
Right.
We
don't need any more
nailed it down. No, and I think that I'm just glad that he hasn't been there, to be honest.
Yeah.
Taking up space for some of these good talents that are out there. I mean, he's a one-trick pony, like Pablo said. Sorry, Brock, we don't need you in WWE. We don't need you anywhere.
Yeah, he's not going to give nobody the rub. He's not going to put anybody over. That's old Brock. Old Brock used to do those crazy sells and stuff like that. And no, not this one. This one only wants a comfortable schedule and be able to go to Saskatchewan and hunt and do all that stuff. And to be honest, it would look bad even having him in the company anymore after what happened with he that shall not be named.
All right.
Anyway, I'm over him.
Logan Paul wants to wrestle Jacob Fatu. Keith.
Well, I mean, I guess Logan Paul's thinking he's going to come back as a babyface and wrestle Jacob Fatu. He said that it's inevitable and that they will wrestle each other. I mean, I think it'd be a cool match. I think it's kind of odd that he's just doing internet booking, but I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
It's his job, though. That's the thing. He's an internet sensation. He has a pod. Did he say this on Impulsive on his show, or was it just on X?
He said it on his show. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said it on his show.
Because it's important to know where he said this and all of that. But specifically, those two in a match, anybody that athletic with a Fatu would be fine. No, just because there's 90% better talent on the roster that I'd rather feed Fatu than Logan Paul.
Yeah, I agree with that
Fatu is only going to win. Fatu is going to win for the rest of the year. I don't want him to get the solo treatment where he's the fall guy. He already isn't going to be that person because we already know just from seeing him, his moveset, just from seeing him out there, seeing how they've talked him up on commentary and all of that. He's never going to be that fall guy. He's only going to be a world conqueror and beat people. And Logan Paul can sell well.
Yep.
but so can Johnny Gargano.
Yeah,
We
and
don't we
Logan
don't need it.
Logan's pretty talented. I mean, for someone who hasn't been wrestling very long, he does good in ring work.
Yeah.
We can't complain about his spots because just what he's capable of. He's so athletic that it just allows him to do things normal people wouldn't be able to do. So, do I want to see Logan Paul versus Jacob Fatu? Why? What is the peak interest there? That's the key question.
Yeah.
You know?
I think Logan Paul sees Jacob Fatu as
A stepping stone.
well, not even that, just the most athletic guy on the roster right now, especially for his size.
Right.
And as kinetic as the two of them would be, I mean, it would be constant motion. It would be a fun match. And I think that's just what he's looking at it as, like the two of them could get in there and bounce around and have a good time. That's what I think he's looking at it as.
Well, if you think about it though, in wrestling, that all it's ever is, Bryan Danielson, one of the reasons why he wanted to come back is that, I want to get all my matches out. It's fun to wrestle Ospreay. It's fun to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. It's fun to wrestle Okada. But that's the point of it, like that's the reason why you wrestle where you are. It's because the better competition brings out better in you.
Yeah.
Thing is, though, I don't think he offers anything to Jacob Fatu, somebody they're both naturally talented, but there's a difference.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about part-timers, Logan Paul is more of a part-timer than Brock Lesnar.
Oh, I agree.
But I don't think there's a place for either of them.
Right.
I agree with that too.
Yeah.
Both of them are embattled. Both of them have issues on social media doing things that maybe they shouldn't do. Like the last thing I heard about Logan Paul is that he was getting buried by Dom Mysterio on his own podcast because he was mentioning how he's not allowed to go to Japan.
Yeah.
And Dominic was bringing that up and he was getting like really emotional. And this was before he got which I believe he got sued by the woman boxer from Algeria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sued him for cyberbullying.
And then on top of that,
and then Prime sued them as well, I believe, no?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
the Olympic Committee
the Olympic Committee
sued Prime
for making an Olympic Prime. Like an Olympic Prime bottle without permission. Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was just like his gimmick that he had. That was actually like an Olympic.
No, that was a thing. That's a thing.
Wow. Yeah, you can't do that without permission.
Right.
The heck? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. To both of those things, it's whatever. I do like him as a wrestler, but there's so many other better people he can.
For sure. Chris Jericho makes his appearance in Terrifier 3.
I mean, it's the biggest horror franchise out there right now. For it to be an independent film and people to be as excited to see it as they are, I mean, it's a good move for Chris Jericho. Just getting his name out there. He's been in some really bad movies. So why not be in this one too?
I guess so. I'm not a big horror movie person, so I'm not going to. I also hear horrible things about this. It's it's one of those movies that that's going to have some outrage to the director. There's been certain horror movies that they've literally tried to, or successfully, like gotten rid of the director because they were like, I see where your mind is. We don't need people like you.
Oh, the guy with House of the Dead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe
House of a Thousand Corpses. No, House of a Thousand Corpses is Rob Zombie.
Yeah, it's a Rob Zombie film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a few ones that are just like, I imagine something of that ilk would be. But did he mention this on on AEW, like while he was doing his promo?
I never heard him say anything
about it. Okay, because I remember he was
trying to keep it low anyway.
Because he's talking about he wants to be the Nueve and all of that.
Well, the film's got a lot of backlash.
He was talking about all the stuff that he has going on, like Fozzie's going to be on tour and stuff like that. I don't know if he mentioned anything about the movie, but
I mean, as far as the movie goes, I think it's one of those things where you know, if you're into that kind of stuff, you're gonna love it. And if you're just a regular person walking around on the street, you're gonna think it's absolutely disgusting. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
so
a lot of people's been leaving within like the first 9 minutes of the film. So the
yeah.
director definitely did his job if he was looking for something to make people cringe.
Yeah, the people are talking about it. So not talking about Jericho, but I mean they're talking about the movie. So
In some other cool news, Brad Pitt is set to portray HBK's character in a movie. No other information has been released on this, but I think it's kind of cool that one of the top actors wants to play Shawn Michaels.
I love Brad Pitt. He's one of my favorite actors, honestly. I know that he got a lot of heat for being a pretty boy back in the day, but guy makes good movies. I assume he's gonna be playing old man Shawn Michaels since they're both old men. But yeah, I
Probably.
mean, I'm sure that if it's a movie with a Shawn Michaels character in it, I'll watch it. You know, it's a wrestling movie, so
Yeah.
yeah.
What's the name of this movie, if you can say? Is there any mention?
I didn't see any name for it yet. I just know that he was that he has got the part to play HBK.
It's said that he is going to be playing the young Shawn Michaels,
That's
at least on
interesting.
the
Makeup.
via SE Scoops. I like
Okay.
to always put the name on, or a name
Of course,
on the
yeah,
bullet,
give
because
credit.
if not, then there's no
Yeah, you
verification
can't
or
verify. Yeah,
validity
verify.
to everything. Not everything
Yeah,
is valid that you see on, but apparently this seems legitimate. So, but yeah, young HBK, maybe they'll do that CG, or they'll just clean them up nice.
Yeah, maybe.
yeah,
I don't know. I always like more wrestling movies because I find wrestling to be one of the greatest stories. The Wrestler was a good one. Iron Claw, just
yes, that
because
was
of
a
how
really good movie.
devastating. That's such a devastating story. You can't write anything that cruel,
Yeah.
considering. But yeah, I like, more WWE in the front, and like I'd like to see them they're at NFL games now. They just had a they just had a spot where Tom Aspinall came on
Mhm.
and was in the ring with the two champions, Gunther and Cody Rhodes. So, they're melding a little bit. They're starting to go cross culture,
Hmm.
which I like, because I think wrestling should be as big as anything else, and not just like a niche, like uh cult following thing, like it's always been. It should be up there with the
I agree.
as
Yeah.
You know,
popular as it is. Yeah, why not?
yeah,
It's just like Marvel. Marvel has started to become really popular because of all the movies, but I was always into Marvel.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Let's see more content, more WWE, more good stories. Just make a bunch. Why not? They're doing all
There we
these
go.
artist biopics, with the Elton John one, Freddie Mercury one, Bob Marley. Why don't they do that with wrestlers?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
I'm
Bob
down.
Dylan one coming out too.
Fucking Bryan Danielson deserves one. I'd love to see a movie about
Triple
Randy
H.
Savage. I'd love to see a movie about, I don't know, about Hunter. I don't know about if I want to see him terrorizing.
Terrorizing.
Oh gosh. But yeah,
Just a small town
I'm
kid from
looking to.
France.
I think he'd be a good HBK, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think he should play
They look
both. He should be an old HBK with his lazy eye, talking about how he used to be
Yeah.
attractive and less lazy.
Good stuff. Um,
Hmm.
let's see here. ROH COO Joe Koff passes away at the age of 73 due to cancer.
Rest
Truly
in peace.
sad.
Yeah, rest in
The
peace.
man was a huge mentor to so many ROH superstars, and he just loved people. I went back and I watched a couple pieces that they threw together for him, and it was just it was beautiful, man. Like what he's done for the wrestling community, and not just that, other people all over. So rest in peace to Joe Koff, and It's a pretty tough loss for everybody in the wrestling world.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there isn't really
I
much to
think
say besides that, Just
he is he was also part of the Sinclair Broadcast Group.
Yes.
oh,
So
okay.
that was
So
the
he was the one who really helped ROH
mhm.
get their first big national attention because
Yep.
that was
Yeah, he got them into syndication, yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Pretty
So he was
much
pretty
took
damn
them off
important.
and oh
Yeah.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy was integral in getting that off, and ROH being the first real indie show, at least from what I remember, as far as like being on TV or having streams and stuff like that. Like it's like what TNA is, or no, what AEW is now. It's like a
Yeah.
haven for indie wrestlers.
Yeah, and I mean a
What
lot of
was the
guys, Kenny Omega, Sammy Callahan, there was a lot of guys who got their first exposure nationally on that ROH syndicated show.
Yeah, Tyler Black.
Yeah. Yeah.
good old Pepsi plunge? CM Punk.
Yeah.
Was Punk around for the syndicated stuff, or was he somewhere else? It doesn't matter.
Kevin Steen.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Generico.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Wonder whatever happened to him.
I heard he's up in Canada somewhere, living in a cabin, retired.
We'll never know. Wink.
Is that just like a thing that wrestlers just move to Canada and retire?
Well, Generico's
Imagine.
Canadian, so Generico was
Yeah, but
Canadian.
Brock Lesnar's not.
Yeah, fair.
Well, he's close enough. We're in
Yeah,
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, that's my stomach
Pretty-
in, but yeah.
right there, huh? CM
interesting
Punk.
enough, I was gonna say something really
Go
quick
ahead.
before the
Go ahead.
CM Punk. I was gonna say I've cooked for Brock Lesnar a few times, and I
Oh,
also
nice.
I used to run a gym where he lived, and I never took the invitation to box because I'm a bit better than him at boxing, but the invitation still stands, Brock, if you want to get hands on you. They're rated E for everyone.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
CM Punk to star in the movie Night Patrol with Justin Long, set to release in 2025, and this is via Hollywood Reporter.
Right on. Oh, I wonder if that has anything to do with Punk taking some time off.
I
Make a
imagine so,
movie.
yeah.
There's always something. It always comes up. You know what I mean? I like
Yeah.
Justin Long.
Yeah.
I don't know about Justin Long in a horror movie, but I like him
Well, I don't know.
as a comedian. I
Well,
like
he
his
In
was
an
in the
indie
first
horror movie, no matter.
Jeepers. Well, he was
Yeah.
in Jeepers Creepers,
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
the original. So yeah,
I
I
saw
can see
it,
him doing
But
it.
I can't remember it. The scarecrow thing that flies around or whatever. Takes
Yeah.
people's eyeballs. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Right on.
Actually, there's a few good names on here. Freddie Gibbs, who is one of my favorite rappers. YG, Flying Lotus. They said that they're going to be in this movie too. But yeah,
Cool.
an indie horror film with these big names kind of scares me a little bit. But there's we'll see. Again,
Yeah.
I like
Especially with a lot
there
of
being. I was gonna say I like there being wrestlers out in the, and doing things other than wrestling. But I'd also like to see them wrestle.
Yeah.
Not every indie movie that stars rappers is Belly. There
Oh,
have
yeah,
been a lot
exactly.
of really bad indie movies with rappers.
No.
Like Belly
Oh
too.
yeah, for
Like-
sure.
Like,
And my favorite topic of the day in the news portion, Vince Russo gets called out by Rikishi for talking shit about Jey Uso winning the Intercontinental Championship, calling it a prop.
So
That's tough.
and it's the one who has been pretty heavily involved in the independent wrestling scene. I hate that so many people refer to the belt as a prop.
Mhm.
It's disrespect, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I have had the argument, like, do you think Ric Flair thought the NWA World Title was a prop? Do you think Harley Race thought the NWA World Title was a prop? Honestly, do you think Hulk Hogan thought the WWF World Title was a prop? Hulk Hogan wouldn't have been where he was without that prop. Too many people nowadays are focused on the entertainment side of pro wrestling as opposed to the achievement side of pro wrestling. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was even last week. If you're going to put the belt on someone, it means you believe in them. It means that you think that they can be the centerpiece of your company or one of the centerpieces of your company. It's a reward. It's an accomplishment. It's not a prop. And I'm with Rikishi. Vince Russo's mindset is the mindset that so many people have nowadays. And it's irritating. I hate it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's just sucks.
Do you know who I believe in?
Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. He's amazing. But okay.
I'm disappointed, by the way, that his run in NXT was just 5 or 6 matches and it was done. It doesn't look like they're bringing him back.
A little weird, but I do like the fact that they're starting to recalibrate and get down to the brass tacks about it. But to get onto the but to get onto the Vince Russo case, I might have to push back a little bit because in a way, I agree with him, but I disagree with him. The way I disagree with him is the fact that no, it's not a prop that he has it. It's a testament to the fact that he's done so much in this business and he's been willing to get humbled. He's been willing to take his licks. He was getting beat up year after year in singles matches and like taking 50-50 booking, only being seen as a tag partner, going out of his way. Roman, shout out to Roman because he's probably the biggest reason why Jey Uso is who he is right now. Half of that is Sami Zayn too, or not half, maybe like a third, maybe a fourth of that is Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, and then the rest is just a testament to Jey Uso just being good, and then the rest of that is yeet. But the way I agree with Vince Russo is because Jey is just doing everything he was doing just with the title on his shoulder, and it does look a little bit like a prop. It does look like it just makes him look better, but he's just doing the same things he was doing before. He's in the same promos. He's against the bloodline. The Intercontinental belt has nothing to do with the bloodline. It just gives him more validity, and it gives him like the rub. And in that case, the fact that he comes out with it and he's just walking around with it, but it's like he's doing what he would have been doing without it. I feel like a little bit. I don't think it's a prop. I do believe it's it's just a shiny thing to put on somebody like the FTW championship. Right. And if you're just going to do, because think about it, what was his trajectory if he didn't? Same thing. Join Jimmy, join Roman. We're going to fight each other. He was going to do that no matter what. There's not a world where that wasn't going to happen. Jimmy was going to talk to Jey into getting back. We all know it's going to happen. Only thing that's different is that he's holding this like over his shoulder in the stupid way Roman used to do it. Like at least show it off. If you're going to have it as a prop, just show it off. But no, he's just going to keep it. It's less than, that's the thing about it, right? For some characters, the title is the most important thing to them. Jey is not one of them.
Right.
Jey, he really don't.
Everything he's doing, he can do it without the title.
Right.
So that's why I agree. Just a little pushback. I agree a bit with Vince Russo, but no, I do feel like it was a reward for his achievement. It's not like you get the Rolex after your tenure in teaching for how many years or whatever places you get tenure and get a Rolex for. It's at the same time, it is it's a prop, but it's also a functioning thing with worth.
Right. But here's where I'm going with it.
Talking about, though.
So Vince Russo is an idiot, just like Jack Perry. Both are dumbasses. Okay.
Same tree.
So, definitely. You fucking idiots. Here's the thing.
Watch
Vince Russo coming out and saying this is a smack in the face to every single person out there who's had a world heavyweight championship, an intercontinental championship, a United States championship. The list goes on and on. It is a direct slap in their face, disrespectful to what these guys and girls go out there and do. Plain and simple. I wouldn't refer to it as necessarily a prop. That's a heavy ass prop to carry around. Not only
then
are
again,
you,
so is Otis.
oh yeah, but like, what are you going to? Okay, so you're basically saying every indie wrestler who comes through there works their ass off, wins a title or two, that it's just a prop.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to give a little bit of friction with this because I don't think it's exactly that, because also Jay isn't that. If Jay didn't get the Intercontinental, but if Jay didn't win the Intercontinental title, two things. One, is he any less of a Hall of Famer? No. Is he going to do anything different with it or just drop it again immediately?
Probably not do anything different. We'd probably just drop it again.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So no, I don't feel like I don't think it's an indictment on everybody who gets a title. I think it's an indictment on Jay doing it, because Jay is part of the Yeet movement, and he's been main eventing every single Raw for the last 7 months.
So
I've been to 3 of them, so I know he's literally main event
Jay Uso.
Jay, no, Vince.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's just seeing it as somebody that's booking, right? The reason why you give the Intercontinental title to somebody like Andrade or somebody like LA Knight has the US titles because they need something. Jay doesn't need something. He's going to main event every single Raw until he retires, because it's his gimmick at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm a little tired of it because, one, congratulations, you got out of the hole that Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are still in. Guess what? After Kofi won the title, he's still in the hole.
Yep.
After you lose that title, you're still going to do the same exact thing. It's not going to mean anything. I think the Intercontinental title is just being wasted on the shoulder of somebody who already has his next year written out. And anything he does is either he has to drop it to somebody in the bloodline to make it relevant, or he just has to drop it somewhere random and then continue his bloodline thing. But then it'll look stupid, because then it will 100% be that the Intercontinental title was a prop if he just drops it without any real feuds, because he goes through feuds like toilet paper. He's in one with Braun. He's in one with freaking Jimmy. He's in one with
Gunther.
Cody and Gunther and all of these people. He's a friend with Sammy. He's friends with Cody. He's friends with Roman. He's friends with everybody but his brother. I was like, pick something and run with it. Don't just give him the title just to do the same exact thing. Because then you're taking it away from Andrade. You're taking away from Carmelo Hayes, from Montez Ford, people that actually need it.
Yeah.
Andrade's floundering. He just had a best of 5 series against Carmelo where he lost.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's
telling me
that's
he came back. He came back to do 50-50 booking with Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand what they were trying to do with that. It's weird.
Triple H got called
I like
out
them both as wrestlers, though.
Yeah, he did. He got called out for it.
Yeah, Triple H got called out for not liking black wrestlers. So then you get NXT where all the black wrestlers and Jey Uso are in the ring with their belts, and you get Carmelo Hayes.
Shawn Michaels loves the big booty
black
women.
I'm sure Triple H has had influence on that.
He loves the big booty white women too, and so do I. Bring them all, sign them all. Get Cora Jade, get Sky Blue, find a way to get Sky Blue, Just get them all. Where's Gigi?
Right? Where is she?
Where are you, Gigi?
She's got to be coming back,
Daddy's
right?
waiting.
At some point.
I'd say soon.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
that
my.
is all I have for news.
All right.
All right.
So
We got a little bit of a round table to hit up. I like this.
Here. All right.
Yes.
So there are some rumors bouncing around that AJ Lee, that the WWE has opened the doors for AJ Lee to return. Pablo, any thoughts?
Okay, well, one, is this substantiated? Or is it just hummings? Because I've heard rumors of CM Punk coming back for the last like 7 years, and then he actually comes back, and you're like, oh, okay. Like I've always thought, I spent a lot of time in Jersey, and I remember when she was coming up, and I was really excited for her to come up, and then she had that pipe bomb on the Divas, which really it made the women's revolution actually have to happen.
Yeah.
It was a call to arms. It was like, yeah, the only reason we know Naomi and Eva Marie and all these people is because they're on a TV show, but it's more than anybody's doing in the actual company. And she would be a trailblazer, like she could lead all the other short people that are just clones of her, like Roxanne and Cora, and like all these other Thea Hale, all these little girls these little wrestlers that are spunky and still, got some fire to them. I have always loved AJ Lee as a character, as a wrestler. I thought they treated her really badly. The fact that she had to kiss every man on the roster on TV, first with John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Daniel Bryan, just to smite CM Punk, I suppose. I want her to be back. Just where? That's just everything that comes up to me. It's like, where? Do you just immediately put her in NXT so she could, fight who? Kalani Jordan? Stephanie Vaquer? Julia? She's not one of these people that just gonna go back to the cutting board. But then whose spot does she take? Does she take Naomi's spot? Does she take Bayley's? Does she take Tiffany Stratton's? Because you have to crowbar somebody like her to fit her into the scene. And again, with the Brock Lesnar, she's not a mid-carder.
No.
Nothing about her resume screams mid-carder. It's like me. I'll do a completely non sequitur, like a completely different example, right? I've been in cooking for years. The last job I had, I was managing a restaurant. Do you think I'm going to go into the nearest McDonald's and be anything but the general manager?
Right.
Exactly. It's because my resume speaks for itself. It doesn't matter that there was one person here for 3 years and he's really working hard and he's got Employee of the Month 2 years ago in February because it was a shortened month. I was like, no, I've been doing this for 20 something years and I can cook. I literally can cut a whole onion with my eyes closed. That's how much I've been doing. So that's the thing with AJ Lee. She comes back. I don't care. Like, there's so many people I want to see do better. Where's Gigi? Where is Gigi? There's so many people there's so many women in NXT, and now they're doing the whole TNA, so like you're adding in Jordan Grace, you're adding in Rosemary, like you're bringing maybe Masha Slamovich comes.
Yeah.
And then it's just too many. They either have to make it a longer show, or they just have to move people out of the way, do another sponging of the roster, because you can't. I love the fantasy booking. I love this stuff, but there's no place for another CM Punk, somebody who's like rusty, a generational talent, but rusty. And we've seen what happened with CM Punk. He had to go out of his way to make something worthwhile, because otherwise he can only go for the main title. You can't see CM Punk as US champion.
No,
it would be a downgrade. It would literally make it look bad.
Right. All right, Brent, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, Yeah, let her come back. Why not? They let everybody else come back. uh, my
That was easy.
But where does it stop
well,
though? Like
right,
where
right.
does it stop?
Well, my thing is like, okay, you can bring her in, do a little bit of this and that with uh, let's say Seth Rollins or Drew McIntyre, because Drew McIntyre, he might think it might be over for now, but Drew McIntyre isn't going to forget about this. He will be back and he will assault him again. It's
Oh
just
no, we
inevitable.
want that.
Yeah.
We want that. Yeah.
So I think bringing her back will get we'll get more in depth into this storyline about family and breaking the rules and all this like bloodshed that's been going on with these guys over the past 6 7 months. So I mean, it could be a good thing. Now, like Pablo said, I don't believe that they should just come in and bring her and take her straight to the top and move out. Let's say that Bailey or Io Sky, someone who's really relevant in the women's division, especially with Alexa coming back. You know,
hmm
uh, and then you got other wrestlers who are in NXT who could be brought to the main roster right now, such as Roxanne. I mean, we don't know what they're going to do with Delta Brady. We don't know
hmm
how long Julia will be in on NXT for that matter. So like he said, where do you put her other than what I said? With the Seth Rollins storylines, with the Drew McIntyre storylines, maybe into the Gunther scene, but what's that going to accomplish? Nothing.
So maybe there isn't a place for her permanently back on the main roster, but maybe they could bring her in like they did Beth Phoenix when
Mm-hmm.
Ed was messing with the Judgment Day. Um, another just another aspect to that thing that CM Punk has going on with Drew.
Right.
It makes sense.
But my
All
thing
right.
with that, even because I understand that angle, and I'll get off of this in a sec. I just want to mention this. Um, the thing with Beth Phoenix is that she wanted to come back, but never as a full timer. Like if AJ is coming back, in what capacity would she come back? Because if it's full time, then she has to run the ropes. She has to do everything there is to be done. If she's part timer, then what is that? How does that look for the people that have been busting their ass the entire year?
Yeah, it's not a good thing. It's not a
You
good
do
look for
another Brock.
WWE.
Exactly. It's another Brock Lesnar aspect where Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, all these people that used to be champions, they're
Mm-hmm.
literally pushed or rung down because of how good Brock Lesnar is or
Yeah.
how menacing he is. So literally I can't see Finn Balor as a champion anymore because of all these people that they're putting in front of us, the Roman Reigns, the Cody Rhodes, even Jacob Fatu.
Mm-hmm.
All of these people that are so much better than you're going to put in AG Lee, and then it'd be like, oh, now we have to convince you that the person Julia that we've been hyping up this entire time, and then Stephanie Vaquer, they're still like a rung down,
Mm-hmm.
and then AJ Lee can only go NXT and get the title. That's the only thing she can do. She
Mm-hmm.
can't go into WWE and then just what? Fight Talia. That's what I'm saying. No, no, think about it though. Let's honestly think
Well,
about this.
yeah.
Like as a story writer or like, if you're a football GM, oh, this person sounds good. Where do you put him? You
Right.
think you just plug him into what you have in week 6 and he's just immediately going to be good? No, he has to learn things. He has to shake the ring rust. Hassan Reddick hasn't played the entire year because he's holding out. Somebody gets him. You think he's going to be ready that week?
Yeah.
I don't
To
know.
build
Devontae
something for
Adams might
AJ.
be ready this week
Well, but
for the
he's been
Jets.
playing the entire year just on
Right. Well,
in a
plus
bad
he's got
situation.
Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
He's been working out, but like Hassan Reddick literally has been sitting out. He's like, I'm not doing
yeah,
any of this until we get a restructure because you've traded for me without giving me a contract.
yeah.
And now the contract doesn't sound good. But then, yeah, like I said, I'll get off of it, but I don't want another Brock Lesnar. And as silly as it sounds, AJ Lee is that to the women's division.
Right on. All right. So this is kind of a problem that's been going on since the NWO, to be honest.
I know what you're
I
talking
feel
about.
like
I know what you're about to
yeah,
mention.
Yeah.
today's wrestling bookers and wrestling fans don't really know how to react to a cool heel. A cool heel. Sorry. Um, and everybody wants to be a cool heel. So it's like everyone is borderline. Are they a babyface? Are they a heel? It's a huge problem in NXT. Like the No Quarter Catch Club should be heels. But when Red Sinclair was wrestling Stephanie McCour, who is clearly a babyface, Red stopped and slapped a couple hands. So yeah, I mean, where are the just yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Where are the just the straight faces and the straight heels? Like, where are they? Why are there so many tweeners in wrestling now?
Can I go? I do this
Yeah,
first.
go for it. Yeah.
All right. So I had brought this up in pre-show in order to bring it because it was something that had struck me watching AEW, specifically AEW, and this is where it comes because via ESPN.com, I'm going to read you the names of the champions in AEW really fast, and then you tell me right after every single name, tell me if they're face or heel. Ready?
All right, here we go.
Yep.
World champion Jon Moxley.
Well, supposedly a heel.
It's a way faster answer. Way faster answer than that.
He's not.
He's in between, man.
He's a
in
heel
between.
face.
Yeah.
He's a heel face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think faces
he does
put
he does
plastic
heel
bags on
stuff.
people's faces.
He does heel stuff, but the fans cheer for him.
But he gets over.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Well, he
fans
get over as a heel.
the fans cheer for him because he's anti Tony Khan. He's anti-system.
Right.
Also, they're cheering for him because they're frustrated and upset.
Okay.
That's what happens. Remember,
So
cheering a heel is disrespect
mhm,
to the company.
Right.
mhm.
And that's what they're doing because they see it. But yeah, like I said, like let me quickly mention Moxley heel, right?
Yep.
Okada,
Heel.
Heel.
Well, supposed to be a
Takeshita.
face. Heel.
Jack Perry,
Heel.
Fucking can't stand that son of a bitch.
There you go.
Sorry, Jack.
Mercedes Moné,
Heel.
Heel.
Mariah May,
Heel.
Heel.
Young Bucks.
Fuck them. Heels.
Exactly. They're all, every single one is a heel. There's some nuance. There's some like in betweens, like Moxley. He looks like at some point he's like, oh, we're the greater good, like the whole Daniel Bryan thing where he was a heel, but he's like, oh, I'm really,
Yeah, he's over.
I'm pro Earth.
Yeah.
They're like, no, let's litter.
Okay, so my thing, this crap's been going on since Stone Cold. Stone Cold is the reason this has happened.
Well, see, the
Because-
difference with Stone Cold
Likable
is,
heels.
sorry, if I can just say real quick, the difference with Stone Cold is they switched him. Once Stone
Mhm.
Cold started getting popular, he switched. The NWO never switched.
Right.
They continued to do dastardly stuff, but
still got
one of
over
their
with fans.
biggest things was selling merch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they went out and pandered to the crowd as heels.
Well, that's just
You
like
know?
Braun Breaker right now. Is he a face or a heel?
Right.
Oh, he's
It's
a heel,
everywhere.
of course.
But
You have to read the actions, not the crowd. You have to read the actions.
I know, but his actions sometimes make sense. So he looks like a heel, but he's also looking like a face because the crowd out there barking and yipping with him, and he's getting over. So now Baron Corbin was a true heel. Everybody hated that man. Even his mama hated that man.
Well, he had a lot of that was go away heat. And then the
Yeah,
rest
he
of
had
it was
that
like
hot heat.
actual, we just don't like your face. We don't like your
MJF
haircut. We don't like your moveset. We don't like your song. Like it was a bunch of,
MJF might be the best heel of this decade.
Because he lives his gimmick. That's why. He literally lives his gimmick, but that's what you have to be. That's the old way of wrestling, is that like he'll see you out. He'll see you out. He'll probably spit in your drink. He don't like you. He don't care about you.
Well, it's just like Ric Flair. He lived his.
Yeah. I saw Don Morocco spit in a kid's autograph book.
I would have saved that.
Yeah, definitely.
He may have.
But here's the thing, right? Okay, this is the important thing about the heel thing, right? It doesn't matter that there's a lot of heels. There's just not any faces aside from maybe Willow Nightingale. Any faces to even like challenge these heels.
Right.
Not only are the heels heelish, but they're also oppressive heels.
Yes.
The entire elite are champions and they're gatekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
The BCC, they're gatekeeping. Now you got Don Callis family, Takeshita's champion. Kyle, I just watched the last episode. They want Lance Archer and Brian Cage to win the tag championships.
Yeah.
Brian Cage is the ROH TV champion, and he's part of the Don Callis family right now. Obviously, they have Takeshita. Kyle Fletcher looks like he's going to get something someday. The way they're trying to push him through the roof.
If you want to think about it, the only
Kenny.
Yeah.
Kenny's the only face.
Yeah.
That's
Kenny.
going against them, and he's getting ripped in half.
Yep.
Thing is though, like Mariah May, it's Willow, but she beat Willow.
Yep.
Mercedes Moné, it's Britt Baker, but Britt Baker is not even here.
No.
So, that's the problem. Isn't just that there's all heels in completely all heels. It's just that there's no like credible faces.
Right. Yeah, there's not that John Cena type face anymore.
Like I feel like they're trying to make Jay White into that, and
Brindley
Jay
Reese,
White,
maybe.
Yeah, it was Jay White against Christian Cage this last episode, and Hangman, who crazy Hangman. Good character.
Yeah, I'm
loving his mustache. I'm loving his mustache more every day when he has that. But he beat up Jay White to help Christian Cage get the win. Christian Cage, another heel with a heel faction, that he's the one that looks like at some point he's going to have some sort of gold. See, the only relevant stars right now in AEW are heel, and then in WWE, all the factions that matter are heels.
Yep.
The Bloodline, Judgment Day, not Pure Fusion, American Made.
The only ones that's not that are face is the White Six.
I haven't seen them.
Right, not for a while.
Yeah, and I don't imagine that we're going to see them until they figure out something better to do. They're not even doing vignettes anymore. They're not even like doing little.
The last thing they did was "I see you there" for the Miz or Karrion Kross.
That seems like a Final Testament thing. Like I like Final Testament's gimmick where they're pretty much like ruining the people they face.
Yes, I love it.
Yeah, but not to completely get off topic, but yeah, that was just my 2 cents about the heel and face thing. It's just more that heels are taking over the world, but there's no believable faces to actually put them in their place. The whole Superman thing.
Yeah, there's just no legitimate
except
faces.
Kenny and Willow are the only people, and you don't even know which title they can go for because everybody's up for grabs for Kenny, you would imagine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I hope they figure that out though, because it is getting weird, just nonstop, just seeing heels. At certain points, we're gonna get heels versus heels again, and it's just gonna be like, what is this even? It's not even a story anymore. It's just bad people doing bad things.
Cody's about the only legitimate face besides, like, if you want to count like some of the ones in NXT, like Thea Hale and Brindley Reese.
Right.
But even so, they're not in any sort of actual storylines,
right?
That matter. Ridge Holland has been literally stomping a mud hole in Chase U just to get Andre Chase over.
Yeah,
and finally he's back, and he came out with some fire.
Yeah, wrestling in his sweatshirt.
That's I was gonna just say that. I was like, the man's wrestling in a Jesus, take the wheel. Take it
He
from my
does it
hand.
for us.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Yeah, one point that I just wanted to make real quick as kind of a wrap up. I think part of that is also you mentioned that Cody Rhodes is the only real face, but look at all the backlash that he's gotten for being a baby face.
Exactly.
It's just the society that we live in, unfortunately. And I don't necessarily think it's going to change anytime soon. So it sucks because the tug and pull between good and evil and heroes and villains was a big appeal to me as a kid watching pro wrestling. And it's not there anymore, unfortunately.
I think, every one of the main wrestling promotions is going to get, they're going to start losing the people that actually want stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because one, they're too like who said it? Kevin Nash, or was it Booker T says that they're too focused on wrestling?
Booker T.
Like
Yeah,
AEW?
Booker T.
Yeah, it was Booker T.
I'm starting to see it a little bit because they're even the storylines they do have, they're falling short. Like why is Top Flight so mad at BCC, and why are they teaming up with Dark Order? Why are they trying to
I
make
didn't
these people look
understand that
menacing?
either.
But that's
I
just the
don't know.
thing.
It's
Like
AEW.
again, like my favorite wrestlers in AEW, in TNA, and they're all heels. Joe Hendry is the best non-champion face in the entire American scene.
Yeah.
And he's getting built up right.
Right.
Same way Cody Rhodes had to do a 2.5 year where they literally had to change the story a la Daniel Bryan, a la Kofi Kingston, because of how frustrated they were. Just like, give us a believable face that can actually be the John Cena of our company.
Right.
Yeah.
Let us have somebody to believe in. And no, like we don't have that in AEW.
Nope.
So yeah. So this could end up being a non-news item, but let's just go ahead and do a little speculation. Jordan Grace and Jonathan Gresham are rumored to be coming up on the ends of their contracts. Brent, where do you think they're going to go? Do you think they're going to stay put? What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I could definitely see Jordan Grace heading over to WWE just because that she's been over in NXT and everything, and she knows, and she's been in the Royal Rumble before. I really think that that's the only place that girl could go because she deserves it. I mean, there's no other thing, nothing else to say about it. I mean, she just deserves it. She should be on that upper echelon with everybody else. She can compete with the Rhea Ripley. She can compete with the Liv Morgan. She can beat these girls. So
I was gonna say, not only can she, it would be an upset if she didn't. She is the standard of women's pro wrestling. She is the standard. She is the flag bearer. It doesn't matter. All these other people are good. All these other people are decent.
Until Megan Bayne comes up.
Yeah, well, definitely. But in comparison to everybody else, she is made for WWE. Jonathan Gresham will be in NXT.
For sure.
But I feel like he's going to be in NXT and he's going to transfer himself into a Bobby Roode, Jason Jordan background role.
Yeah.
As much as I like him as this powerhouse little 5'2" Cthulhu monster, I don't think he translated over in WWE.
No.
I don't think you can have a believable 5'3" champion. Even though he's amazing. He's amazing. He can finish you with so many holds, so many submissions. The guy he's a monster. I think him and Jordan Grace are a package deal at this time in their lives. But Jordan Grace has the sky's the limit for her. And I think Jonathan Gresham, when he won the ROH championship, that was probably his peak.
Yeah.
He could do really well teaching the next generation. I think he is when he wrestled Charlie Dempsey, it was one of those crossover matches. It was a few weeks before we started the podcast, but it was in August, I think.
Hmm.
He had fought Charlie Dempsey on TNA, and it was a good match. And part of me was like, he's such a good technical wrestler, and it's the last time I seen him do anything of any significance. And I think he's coming towards the end of his in-ring career, but I think he's going to have a great impact on any company that hires him.
I agree.
And I think that's what he's better suited as. If he has the love still and he wants to go be a competitor, I'm not going to tell him not to. But I feel like that would be what I see him doing at this part of his career.
Okay.
Mhm.
So this last topic is sort of the opinion topic. A couple weeks ago, now I guess it was at Bad Blood, we had one of the most brutal, hardest hitting matches that we've had in a long time. Um, and now this is kind of an interesting qualifier, but Pablo, what is the hardest hitting match that you have ever seen?
Hardest hitting Okay, real quick, let's preface what we mean by hardest hitting. Are we talking about like the most stiff shots? Are we talking about the most like back to back just action?
See, that's what I think it's going to have to be subjective.
Okay, all right.
Because hardest hitting can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. That's why I said it's
Mhm.
kind of an interesting qualifier. But yeah, however you want to view it, and just preface it with that.
Okay, I'm gonna say hard hitting would be like most crazy bumps taken, most wild sequences, near falls,
Mm.
crazy action, crazy hardcore. I would say it would have to be hardcore.
Yeah.
Maybe that last man standing, Johnny Gargano and Ciampa would be probably one of the ones that I would think of just because they were willing to take the floorboards, take the mat padding off, and then he did a what's that, Widow's Bell, I think it's called, where he does his hanging middle rope DDT onto the mat. And Ciampa literally knocked Gargano out with a inverted like a DDT onto the freaking boards, like the wooden boards underneath the ring. Like I would say either that or back when they used to do unprotected headshots,
Mm,
chair shots, like JBL's matches. The fact that JBL used to just hurt people, like just absolutely just train wreck people.
yeah.
Squash matches also would count too, but I'd say like back and forth, like the most crazy, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa were literally out there to believably, if one of them died, it would have been believable.
Right.
So maybe that.
All
I
right,
would say
Brett.
probably that. If I thought long enough, long and hard enough, I imagine I probably could have got something else, but that one I would say.
All right, cool.
It's a good one.
Yeah, Brett, what do you got?
I am going to go with Samoa Joe versus Low Key Ring of Honor Fight Without Honor in 2000. I think it was 5.
Okay, I remember that match actually. I think.
That match, man, as blow for blow, and the sequences in that match were just unreal. They beat the hell out of each other. Those guys went all out there and just gave it their all. Uh, really good match. I'd say it has to be a 5-star match if I had to be a betting man. But yeah, that's the one that really stands out to me as far as hard hitting. I mean, those guys just beat the shit out of each other.
All right,
Also,
so
if I
I'm
give
gonna.
a quick second,
Yeah.
would probably be Gunther against Ilya for the UK title.
That was a
Uh,
good ass match too.
Hmm.
yeah. All
Close
right, so
second.
I'm gonna go a little different. This match may not be a 5-star match, but it looked like these two guys were murdering each other. And as a youngster, I watched it and legitimately thought there were bones being broken. Collision in Korea. Hashimoto and Scott Norton.
Ooh.
Yeah,
All
and I
right.
don't know. There was a point in that match where Hashimoto was on his knees and Scott Norton was just kicking him dead in his sternum over and over and over again. It was brutal. Like, and I know that, there's a lot of stuff out there about Hashimoto and Scott Norton being stiff. I don't know if they just made it look like they were stiff or if they were actually stiff, but that match looked like they were hurting each other. And I had never seen anything like that growing up on American wrestling. Like that was
Right.
insane to me. So
It's a good one.
thanks. All right, so let's get into the weekly shows now.
Yes, please.
Let's see. Pablo, you want to kick it off? What do you got?
All right. I would say that I am the resident TNA guy, so maybe I'll start with that. I'm also kind of the resident AEW guy.
Yeah.
But
Since
let me bring up real quick. I will bring up AEW first because I think I have a bit more to speak about in TNA, considering they have their biggest one, if not one of their biggest shows of the year coming up soon.
Yeah.
AEW, I saw the match, like I was mentioning, Christian and Jay White, they had a real good match. I said this before, and I'm probably going to say it again right now. Actually, I'm going to say it. This is the best Christian Cage we've ever had.
nice.
For sure.
There's not a single time where Christian Cage has been a better heel. There's not a single time where he's been more believable, because that was the thing about Christian. The reason why he never hit that upper echelon, he never got to the pinnacle, and they ended up giving him the ECW one, which was a consolation prize. Same thing they gave it to CM Punk. They gave it to freaking
Mark Henry.
Ezekiel
Yeah.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, there's news about him.
But yeah, pretty much it was a consolation prize, but he seems legitimate, the fact that he's the oppressive patriarch of his family, and he's such a dastardly heel. Like he talks about people's parents being dead and all of that, and like he's an absolute just amazing character, and he grew into himself. Like he's a way better adult wrestler than he was as a kid wrestler wrestling in WWE with Edge.
Yeah.
I find him to be like, he found his pocket. You know how they say in rap they say like, oh, he found his flow, his pocket. And this is the thing, right? Some rappers, some wrestlers, some quarterbacks, like whatever, sometimes you need time.
Yeah.
And that's the nice thing, there's a lot of wrestlers that Damian Priest, it's the best he's ever been in his early 40s. LA Knight, it's the best he's ever been, his early 40s. Maybe like late 30s. So I think Christian, he's really good, and he's carrying around this contract that he got from Kip Sabian, which I believe like he has like a challenge, like a guaranteed challenge for the title or something like that. I just like what he's doing, and I want to see more of it. I like the fact that him and Jericho are heading their own trio stables. It really cool. I don't like the learning tree Chris Jericho. He seems very overdone, but otherwise, FTR won against the learning tree lackeys, the apples of the lacking tree. Queen Aminata lost to Mercedes Moné.
Interesting.
Distraction from Camille, of course, the just signature heel gimmicks. Private Party wanted to talk to the Young Bucks, and then it was pretty much just a whole thing about Stokely Hathaway speaking to them and potentially having him as a client. More black wrestlers only feuding with other black wrestlers.
Well, it's because all the black people know each other.
But it's wild. Like,
So there's
this
an
is something
automatic
I found.
relationship.
this is something I've found, like the LWO always goes against the Legado. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Swerve went against Keith Lee. Now he's going
Yeah.
against Shelton Benjamin in MVP. Like,
Hmm.
you really can't find other people for them to feud with. They always have to just fight each other.
Yeah, I mean that was a joke when I said that they know each other. I was poking fun at the booking.
No, but that is kind
Um,
of what it is, though. Like,
I
and then
mean,
Shelton Benjamin had a pretty good match where it looks like they're really trying to build him up to be what I
Oh
hoped he would
yeah.
be. He's a good.
yeah,
He fought
He beat the
Leo
crap
Rush.
out of Leo Rush.
Oh, he was a good. It was a good match, and I think, Leo's probably behind Nick Nemeth. Leo is probably the best seller in the business.
yeah,
Yeah.
I could probably have like a close second or third to some people like Wes Lee, but I think he's amazing. There was a press conference that Don Callis had where he was pretty much showing off his new acquisition, Lance Archer, showing off Brian Cage with another meaningless title under his waist. RO ROH TV title means nothing on AEW TV. Come on.
right.
Right.
These are props. For an example, FTW championship. Any ROH championship shown on AEW, those are props.
Yeah, the
I'm
$1
being
million
honest.
championship that Ted
Exactly.
DiBiase had was a
Oh,
prop.
those are all props. Those, like, to go back to what we were talking about with Jimmy Uso or Jey Uso, I mean. After that, yeah, the main event was Jay White and Switchblade, just pretty much showing that there's gonna be another Hangman against Jay White. Um, but yeah, AEW was decent. I'm not really invested when it comes to a lot of these feuds, with BCC and Wheeler Yuta doing their
Right.
thing, and I don't even know who John Moxley's facing next. It's kind of up in the air. It is, Booker T is as silly as he sounds sometimes. I think he is a little bit right on the fact that there's really no direction in AEW, so they're making up for it. They're making up for it with wrestling and like
Right.
Yeah.
cool characters like Mark Briscoe being funny to listen to. But yeah, that's my whole spiel on AEW. It won't be that big. And then I'd like you guys to tackle the WWE shows before I get to the reason why we're all here. The TNA. The T.
Well,
The T of the TNA.
I don't want to go match by match.
Mhm.
I want to talk about the overall vibe of
Yes.
NXT.
Mhm.
It's just excitement the whole time. From the second the show starts until it ends.
Mhm.
It's just coming at you the whole time. They're doing such a good job. And I mean, I kind of feel bad that I've abandoned the NWA since they've gone to showing their freaking shows on X, but
Mhm.
I've never been big on watching TV on my phone, especially not wrestling. So unfortunately, I mean, now my main focus is on NXT. But they do such a good job of, like, even when people are in losing efforts, making them look good. I loved the Stephanie Vicor and Ren Sinclair match just because Ren got to show everything that she can do, even though she lost.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was pulling for an upset, but it's pretty unrealistic. I think that going into Halloween Havoc, though, they're putting their best foot forward. I love Obafemi is not done with Tony DeVito yet, or Tony D'Angelo yet.
Mhm.
I think that everyone who has watched NXT at all knew that Ethan Page was going to win. I mean, I don't think there was much question there. Wesley maybe, but I think that he's still got a little bit more to go before they put him in there with Trick. I think that
Oh,
Ethan
sure.
Page still has business to settle. And Javon Evans is just not quite there yet. So I think it was pretty obvious, but the match itself was really good. Lots of cool spots. So yeah, I mean, and now the genius of the sky and the sky pirate are going to be coming in, because they're really pushing Jakari Jackson and Lash Legend to work with the main roster girls, which, I mean, maybe they're going to get called up. I don't know. This is the second time that they're going to be having a match with someone
weird.
from the main roster. Yeah, it's an
Weird.
interesting thing. But yeah, I mean, NXT, they're continuing to integrate with the main roster, which I like. Like I said, they just keep on going forward, and that's it's a fun show to watch.
Oh
Lots
yeah,
of wrestling.
love NXT.
Lots of wrestling, but it doesn't lack character development. The guy who used to be in the Goofy tag team that was like the redneck tag team.
Brooks Jensen.
Yeah, he had a really good match.
Yeah, he looks good too.
yeah.
Out there.
Yeah, he looked good. Yeah, he
He
looked
looks
really,
unhinged.
really good.
He looks unhinged. Yeah.
Looks fully insane. Ashanti, I hate his name because that's a chick's name. But
Ashanti Adonis,
yeah.
right? Something like that.
Yeah, that's a chick's name. But yeah, they had a really good match. Legitimately, Brooks hasn't been featured much.
Yeah.
So you kind of got the idea, and Ashanti has. Like, he's been, around. You kind of got the idea that he was going to go over, and he did not. He did not.
He was
like,
clearly the face in the match.
Yeah.
If I can ask, was Cedric with Ashanti? Because
he was. Yeah.
He was.
Well, he didn't come out the ring with him though.
He didn't come out with him, but he gave him a big hype up in the back.
Yeah.
But a woman came out and
there
was some issue.
Yeah,
with that,
Carmen. Okay, so here's the thing: Carmen Petrovich and Brees, right?
Yeah,
Brindley, Reese Brindley.
Brindley Reese, yeah.
Brindley Reese. There we go. They had a tag match, and there was some issues during the tag match. They kind of had a little bit of heat with each other, but now they're still, trying to tag up or whatever. And Ashanti was kind of trying to hit on both women, so he came back to apologize with a rose. And
that's why she brought it back. Okay,
right.
I
but he didn't give it. Yeah, he didn't give it to Carmen. He gave it to Reese. But then Robbie E, right? Is Robbie E with
Robbie Eagles?
No, Robbie E from NXT or from TNA. I don't know what his WWE gimmick is.
I'm not sure.
He was Maxine Dupree's brother.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
I don't know much about the Maxine Dupree Maximum Models era.
Oh, right. So he was Max Dupree, but he's back to being called Robbie or Bobby or something now. So do you remember the freaking Big Brother guy who had the tag team partner in TNA? Jesse Goddard's.
Okay, yeah.
So Robbie E was Jesse Goddard's tag team partner, and he wrestled as Robbie Echoes on the Indies.
Yeah,
really talented, but a small guy. They brought him into WWE as a manager. And the thing is, he's super jacked, so now they just keep him in a suit all the time.
I think he's Robert Stone. He's Robert Stone.
Yeah, Robert Stone.
Okay, he's Robert Stone. Okay, but he wears a suit all the time, so you can't see how ridiculously jacked he is because he's freaking huge. He's just little.
Did he do like that Jersey Shore kind of?
Yeah. He did the Jersey Shore thing with Snooki and geez, I can't even remember her name. Rebecca something. She's from out here. She was Jimmy Jacobs' ex-girlfriend. But anyway, Carmen came out. Robbie E took the flower, gave it to Brooks. Brooks crushed it.
And then the pedals, she put the pedals.
Right. Carmen came out with the pedals kind of to say, we're not interested in your apology. You know what I mean? Neither one of us is going to fuck you. Like, basically, that's
Dang it. There'll be more, by the way, there'll be more on Brindley Reese when I speak about TNA.
I think Brindley Reese is ridiculously attractive and a good wrestler, but I think she's really, really pretty.
And her persona is great too, by the way.
Yeah, I dig her. But yeah, I mean, it's just constantly moving forward. Like, you talk about AEW being focused on storylines or on wrestling too much. In NXT, you get storylines and they get progressed in the ring. You know what I mean? You get a little bit of
Yeah.
backstage stuff, but everything happens right out there in front of the crowd. And you still get good wrestling, but they still are constantly moving forward with their storylines, and you know where everybody's going, and you get the progression. And dude, I love watching it. I will sit down and watch NXT over any company right now. So yeah. Oh, and Halloween Havoc, we got a tag match coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, with Stephanie Vaquer and Julia, with Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez.
My favorite little tag team, Cora
Dude,
Jade and
Cora
Jade
looks
and
like a
Roxanne
monster
Perez.
next to Roxanne. It's so funny, and she's not a big girl.
No,
She
she's
looks
not.
huge next to Roxanne. Roxanne must be ridiculously tiny.
She must be like 4'11", I imagine.
Yeah, but
By
yeah,
the way,
after Stephanie's win,
Mhm.
the girls came out and jumped on him and beat him up a little bit, and then they challenged him to the tag match. There was a spin the wheel, make a deal. I cannot remember what the outcome was. Brett, do you remember?
I watched it too.
It was Oba and Tony, right? They did the wheel, right?
Yeah. Oh, I know what it is. It's TLS. That's what it landed on.
Right.
Tables, ladders, and scares.
Yeah, tables, ladders, and scares. So that should be brutal. That should be fun. Oba was like, the family will not be able to help you, but who says?
This is weird though about the NXT thing. It's weird because TNA is doing the exact same thing with the whole pick your poison thing.
Oh yeah,
Where
they
they're,
totally stole that from WCW back in the day.
Well, the old. Well, that's just WWE stole it too when they used to do the roulettes.
Well, the thing is, Eric Bischoff introduced that though, and it was his idea. He supposedly invented it in WCW. So he's like,
and then he brought it to
I'm going
WWE
to
when he was
bring my thing to WWE. So
when he was general manager. Yeah.
Right. So it's a little different. As you mentioned, Adrian Chase came back. Sorry, I'm all over the place, but Ridge Holland dominated Osborne once, like he's been dominating, everybody. But Thea Hale was so happy that she almost knocked Andre Chase over, jumping in his arms and giving him a hug. Indeed. So yeah, I think I'm really hoping Halloween Havoc you get Andre Chase and Ridge Holland and Andre pulls out the win.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't recognize what a good wrestler Andre Chase is just because he doesn't look like much of a wrestler and he's wearing street clothes.
It's a sweater.
Yeah, and he doesn't get a lot of matches, you know what I mean? But he's really good.
He's intense and he's good. It's interesting that, he's going to have to take the loss when Thea Hale turns on him and runs off with Ridge Holland.
Oh, dude, no!
She's just gonna just sit on his shoulder.
My heart.
Well, that's the point, though. It's supposed to break your heart. That's the point.
See that coming.
She's going to fall in love with him because he's dominating all of the people in her stable, and she's like, "Oh, I want a real man."
No.
And then
I'm gonna cry now.
And then slightly shorter Brindley Reese and
there you go,
Mr. Biggie Killer. They're going to go off in the sunset and be the most despicable heels in NXT history.
Oh, I hate you, Pablo.
Yeah.
That's what shit.
Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense now. See, I thought it was the redemption story, and Andre Chase was going to come back and win, and
that's what they want you to think.
Chase was going to get behind him, and they were going to rise to the top again.
Yep.
But no.
They're just going to go to TNA.
Never know.
And start wrestling against people. They're just going to start wrestling against TNA people.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Rob Osborne would fit in with the TNA guys really well.
Well, he already did have that match where he was part of that X Division Championship match.
Right. And I'm sure he killed it.
Yeah, he did. Oh, I mentioned it right after when we did the podcast right after that. I said, I thought he was the one that was going to beat Ridge Holland, but it's going to be Andre Chase.
Right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Or it's not going to be Andre Chase.
He's the leader of Chase U. Either way, it's going to make, whether or not he loses the way I said he's going to or not, it's meant to make Andre Chase look good. So
yeah,
right. Right.
make him look strong because you feed all of his friends to this one guy, and then it's the Goku syndrome, right? Goku goes
Yeah.
in his time chamber and trains while all of his friends die. And he's like, "Oh, I'm here now. What did I miss?"
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, Krillin
Yeah.
died twice. Vegeta did a face turn just to go heal again
Right.
and then die."
Or when Goku comes back from the dead, and they're like, "Dude, you could come back from the dead. Why didn't you do this before? Why didn't you do this when all the shit was going down?"
Because little did we know, Goku is based off of the Egyptian mythology, and
Uh-huh.
he is Horus, because his wife collected his body parts long enough to conceive a child, and that was Goten.
So
But,
insane.
I know,
Yeah.
I used to be a blog writer for anime, and I actually got really big because I used to link mythology to anime correctly,
Nice.
by the way, correctly.
Nice. Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
All stories, but that's the thing about it. All stories come from somewhere. Like even in wrestling, all these stories come from somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they also have to make sense. At least you'd
And
hope.
Yeah. The
That-
hope's there that it does.
And that's what NXT is getting right.
Yes.
Yes.
Their
Yes,
stories
they are.
make sense.
Yeah, they may be
100%.
the best promotion going right now, actually.
And they're not
They-
even an actual promotion. They're
They're
They're a
kind of-
company within the company.
developmental. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's weird, right? If the Yankees in Scranton, if the Yankees AAA guys were much better than the guys up on the Yankees, you'd think they'd bring them up, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of just trading for better people or getting A-Rod out of retirement, which is pretty much what CM Punk is.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, CM Punk as Alex Rodriguez comp? That's amazing. What? Only one of them did steroids though.
Hey now. You
It's
think?
not the one you'd think. You think? Allegedly. All right. So we got AEW
Yeah.
and NXT out of the way.
Yes, sir.
Talk about
Brent,
the big
what do we
boys.
got going on the big shows?
And then you could probably hit both of those, and then we'll talk about them, and then I'll talk about TNA a little bit.
Well,
We got to hit Wrestle Dream too, because we're geniuses.
And Maple
Yes.
League. And Maple League
yes.
Pro.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to speed through Monday Night Raw. Since I really don't get a chance to really keep up with the SmackDown too much, since our
Mhm.
show is on Friday, and by the time that I get to report the news, there's no point because they've done reviewed it all on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
So just going to hit on Raw until there's like something big that comes up.
That's a wild statement to say out loud.
But let's go through this match card and then I'll reiterate.
Well,
on
he's
some
married,
things.
so
Yeah. Oh God.
Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair defeated Damage Control to retain women's tag team titles.
Boo.
Yeah. I love Damage Control,
They're gonna job to freaking the NXT girls too. I think.
Now, the returning War Raiders
Yeah.
defeated
You can say
Alpha
War
Academy.
on TV.
But this
Whoa.
takes me back to what you said a couple weeks ago, Keith, about Otis and Tozawa taking losses that they really shouldn't,
Yeah.
and they don't deserve it.
In nauseum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And but the War Raiders definitely won that. So, I mean, it was kind of a squash match, really. I mean, that poor Tozawa got destroyed.
Well, it was an important coming out party because finally we got their actual names again.
Yes. Braun Breaker defeats Kofi Kingston. Wow, didn't see that one coming.
Mhm. With help, Xavier Woods came to help him out.
Yeah.
Just to get hit, which is going to lead to the fact that, oh, Kofi, you keep just making me get beat up. And then Jey Uso came out to also thwart Braun Breaker, which of course, you gotta
That made sense, but
let people say yeet at least twice, 3 times a day.
R-Truth defeats the Miz.
That was weird.
Interesting.
That was a weird match altogether. So I was kind of
Final Testament is turning Miz. As soon as I saw that, I was like, maybe Miz is going to be the new leader. Because he can't be a lackey. He can't be a lackey to lackeys.
Nah,
Right.
Miz can't be a lackey because Miz is too much of a dick to be a lackey.
There are five.
Exactly.
There are 6 people in that faction. 5 don't speak.
Right.
And yeah, that's a. I really want them to fix the Final Testament and make them worthy because they deserve
Yeah.
it. That's
I loved Killer Cross, man.
oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Doomsday Saito. I want just nonstop Doomsday Saitos.
Yes. The final match of that night was Rhea Ripley and Tiffany Stratton taking on Liv and Raquel,
Weird.
and it ended at the DQ. So
So
Naya.
mhm.
yeah. So this was
And then-
the yeah.
If I 1 second, this was something
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
really important that happened after that because I watched Friday Night SmackDown. Nia Jax came out and attacked Rhea
Right.
and then attacked Liv.
Right.
And in that case, literally looked at Tiffany and be like, "What are you waiting for? Cash in."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Dom takes Liv in his arms and like runs her back. So we got another false cash in.
Yeah.
Like
I
the
still-
fifth
And
one.
I still
it's
say
not
she's
Tiffy
gonna
time. It's
No.
Dommy time.
yeah, but she's gonna cash in, I think, on Nia. It's
Oh, yeah.
just this is too obvious. Like
They're leading into it too much. Part of me thought this though. Part of me thought this, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? But Survivor Series is the next one, right?
Yes.
Part
No.
of me thought that they would. No,
Crown Jewel.
Oh yeah, Crown Jewel. Right.
I kind of don't count
Crown
the
Jewel
count.
doesn't
I
really
really
count.
don't count
Yeah.
it
Nothing
either,
really
but-
happens on Crown Jewel.
But yeah, the next big one is Survivor Series.
So yeah, so part of me thought that maybe they do this, and then, oops, it's the weird situation where Nia and Tiffany have to fight each other,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
or maybe they are smart and mention that because as a writer, I think I'd mention that. It'd be like, wait, if I beat her, then doesn't that mean I fight you next?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I thought about that. I was like, she's basically telling her to come wrestle her.
But
You
think
know?
about how cool it would be to have 2 friends that are opposing champions.
Yeah.
How many times have we had that? Like a stable or like a tag team or
Right.
whatever
And they've
they
got
are.
both
Right.
women's titles. That would be badass.
Yeah, but I don't think they have the nuts to do that. And they're the live thing I'm over with. I'm done.
And final thing I want to touch on with Monday Night Raw is Gunther and Cody Rhodes come face to face. What do you guys think about that?
Dun, dun, dun.
I like
Um,
it, but it's weird. It's stupid. It's stupid.
I thought it was a little cliche.
You take away
Yeah.
from everything you're doing with the champions just to have them face each other, and then what? After that,
Yeah.
they have to figure out something. It's
Right.
stupid.
Exactly.
It's Crown
Yeah,
Jewel though.
Although
The Crown
Randy
Jewel-
Orton did Randy Orton did have a cryptic message for Kevin Owens. He said when he gets back to the States, he's gonna whoop his ass.
Nice. I like it. I'd like to see Randy Orton, Kevin Owens.
That'd be a good one. Yeah.
I think that the Crown Jewel Championship is a silly idea. Yeah. I think that the women's division is definitely using it better than the men's division is, but it's still a dumb idea.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that the
Go where the money
Tiffany
goes.
Yeah. The Tiffany and Rhea had potential as a tag team. Honestly, like for being heels and baby faces and not turning on each other and just going out there and trying to win. I honestly thought that match was good. I loved the thing that Rachel and Liv did, or Raquel, sorry, and Liv did, where she launched her outside the ring while they were arguing. That was dope.
Oh yeah, she went onto her shoulders and then like pretty much
Yeah.
like, threw her in a powerbomb style. Can
Yep,
I mention
yep.
2 things, please?
Sure.
Not to get in front of anybody in line, but one, I did like the same way you mentioned the Rhea and Tiffany. I thought of that meme where it's Wednesday Addams next to a girl that's wearing like bright pink.
Ah,
And that's
Yeah.
what I got. That's the vibes of Rhea and Tiffany that I got.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that that's a precursor to show that Tiffany and Rhea are going to be an excellent feud.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
Yes.
secondly, I never want to see Raquel Rodriguez in a ring again.
Oh,
No.
poor Raquel.
She is the least she is the I would say the worst at trying to get herself over. She's either a heel because she's frowning or a face because she's smiling. She's not doing anything else.
Yeah, fair.
She is a literal nothing.
Yeah.
And they know it,
Mhm.
and that's why they're doing it where she's not even speaking. She's just making a grimace. Like when she was what was it? Dom carried Liv away. Not even
Yeah.
Raquel did it. Dom carried Liv away.
Right.
And then she stood next to him and was like, "Oh, this is my cue to look menacing." Her.
Right.
I'm like, "Get away, you waste."
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't care how good of a wrestler you think she is. One,
Yeah.
she is not. She is slow. She is clunky. She is large, but doesn't move well. And she is also less than vanilla because vanilla has flavor. She is cardboard
Right.
flavor.
Right.
Love
She's
it.
not a vanilla little person as Vince would call Finn Balor or something. She is tasteless.
Mm.
She is a mushroom without seasoning.
Yeah.
She is
Mm.
not sautéed with any good flavor. And
Pretty stale.
I'm sad to say that because as a fellow Latino, I want to see my people do well, but I'm sorry, I can't get behind somebody whose only gimmick is her facial expressions and the fact that she's large, and that's it.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah.
we please
See-
ask ourselves what she brings to this Liv Morgan thing aside from a reason why Liv Morgan could just be a dastardly heel and like lose without losing?
I don't know where they're going with it. Like,
It's
a
also
plug and
tying
play.
into the storyline. You know what I mean? Like
I
it's to
think they're
tie
doing
into
it on
the history.
purpose.
You know?
Well, the history of because I mentioned this before because I predicted Raquel
Yeah.
coming back.
Yeah.
Full credit.
Yeah.
But it's just wild though because I'm here and we're talking about Raquel and she does look like just a Luke Gallows back in the Straight Edge Society where she's just a tall guy that they have nothing to do with, so they're just going to put her with somebody that can speak.
I think that they're doing something with it to counterbalance the Camille thing. That's where I'm at with it.
I
Interesting.
don't like the Camille thing either, but at least Camille looks menacing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Raquel's just
She's all
trying to
smiles.
have Raquel is all smiles, but she's trying to be heel, and you can tell it doesn't look genuine, but it's also cringe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry, I don't even like looking at her.
Damn.
She's not even aesthetically pleasing.
Damn.
Like I wish her the best, but I feel like she needs to go to another place and maybe get a personality.
Ouch.
Damian Priest had to do all of this work and lose weight just to get where he was. I'm sorry, you don't just come in after a hiatus and just make mean faces and expect me to think that you're anything but just a paperweight.
Mm.
Or somebody to shoulder tackle Rhea, but still lose.
Yeah.
I love Raquel.
You can love her. I also love cardboard because it holds the things that I need it to hold.
I mean, I remember when Raquel was before she got injured, and she would do some really athletic stuff for a girl her size.
Yeah.
She hasn't done it recently, but she hasn't been back very long.
Well, I mean, she's had some legit injuries too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay.
Oh, I just want to say on a completely different note, like my favorite part of that match was when Rhea laid out Liv, and then tagged Tiffany and told her to do her moonsault. Like she was going to let her get the pin. And she was like, me? And then she went up and obviously took too long and Liv rolled out of the way. But I was totally convinced that she was about to pin the Raw champion, which would have set my theory further forward. Because I still think she's going to cash in on Liv. It's the smart thing to do. Her cashing in on Nia has been teased so much. Like, let's just not do it. You know what I mean? Let's just have them fucking not do the obvious thing.
That's what I felt like was coming up yesterday, where the least obvious thing was her cashing in on Liv instead.
Yeah.
And part of me was like, as soon as, because the thing that's nice about the Money in the Bank thing is that it clicks in your head. It was like, oh, this is a good time. And then Damian Priest comes out. This is a good time. And then Alberto Del Rio comes out. This is a good time. And then Dolph comes out. Kind of like that. And then Nia literally, like, when she
what are you doing?
She did the Annihilator on Liv.
Right.
Liv was dead.
Do it. Yeah, do it.
And then she literally was standing there. And then you can hear the audience start to pick it up and be like, oh my goodness, wait. Right. And then Nia looked at her. She's like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah,
and then Tiffany gets it and like is hesitating so much that she's like, and then just enough time for Dom to sneak away because you don't even get the chance to see Dom.
Right.
That was done very well, and I give them props for doing that swerve very well. I think they did a good job. Yeah, I just you know my only issue with that whole thing. It's just going too far. It's going too long.
Right.
So if Rhea and and Tiffany form a tag team, Chaos Barbies.
Yeah. Sugar and Spice.
Hey, now everything nice.
Well, everything nice would have to be like a third person, I guess. Maybe Alexa.
Stand still and look pretty.
Well, that's what they're doing for Raquel, but they're saying stand there and try to look menacing.
Yeah. Well, because I was just thinking about how Rhea said, Tiffany's just going to stand on the ring apron and look pretty.
I like that too. That's pretty funny.
That was her job, was to just stand there and look pretty while she beat him up. But obviously,
she's good at it because she is pretty.
She is pretty, indeed. Yeah. All right, so what do we got going on over in the land of TNA?
Total nonstop action. We love it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so what going on in TNA is that they have Bound for Glory coming up. And Bound for Glory is a very large, it's their second to Slammiversary, I believe.
Okay.
Their second biggest card. So there's going to be a lot going on, but specifically the most important thing being that Joe Hendry and Nick Nemeth are going to go at it for the title. One other thing that's going on is what's up?
Oh no, that was just me doing excitement. Sorry.
very excited.
Yeah, that was me doing excitement.
But I'll mention a few things again. I like how Brent said he wasn't going to go match by match and then went match by match, but that's just naturally how it goes. But I'll mention I'll say the aforementioned Brindley Reese faced Ash by Elegance, aka Dana Brooke, formerly known as Dana Brooke. Obviously there was some shenanigans, which there always going to be, distractions from personal concierge, I think his name is. She's working on a makeover for Heather Reckless.
Hey now.
So it looks like she's bringing in a bunch of young stars and trying to make them look more elegant, because that's her gimmick. So she beats Brindley Reese, NXT Brindley Reese, aka slightly taller Thea Hale. And she says that she's going to maybe give her a makeover too, which might mean that Brindley Reese and Heather Reckless do a tag match against Ash and somebody else.
Hey now.
Who knows? Because I feel like there's it'll probably be Zaya Brookside is going to be in there at some point. Rosemary and Wendy Chu are going after the TNA Knockout Championships, which is interesting because Wendy Chu is a NXT star.
I feel like I've seen that though in AEW. I think they just tried that whenever they were crossing over.
Oh yeah, well they did it with the Wesley no, with the Zachary Wentz.
Yeah.
Was it Zachary Wentz and Trey Miguel when they were
Yeah.
going after the NXT championships? It's really just a rub for both,
Yeah.
but obviously, you don't want the developmental talent losing to outside talent. It does
Right.
nothing for you. So Mike Cornball Bailey beat Leon Slater that night to pretty much hype up the fact that El Hijo de Vikingo is coming back in Bound for Glory to fight Cornball Bailey, which means that, Vikingo doesn't just lose. You don't let him lose.
Right.
He's not a loser, so you don't let him lose. But for the most part, there was just a lot of filler talking about Bound for Glory matches. I'll most likely just talk about Bound for Glory next week because it's going to be happening the day after our pod. So for the most part, yeah, there was a lot of just here and there interesting promos. More Josh Alexander with the Northern Armory, showing up and beating up Steve Macklin this time. So it's full circle. They beat up Eric Young. They beat up Steve Macklin. They're doing the call your shots, which is pretty much the same exact thing as the wheel, where Ariana and Santino are like picking names or picking out of like a bingo thing to see who faces what and does what. Frankie Kazarian is pushing himself to be the next champion. He's going into he's the king of TNA now. That's what he's calling himself, the king of TNA.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, a bunch of Jordan Grace and Masha Slamovich had a face-to-face because they are fighting for the title, which I think is the best women's match of the year right now.
Nice.
Just from the sounds of it,
Yeah.
Otherwise, Nick Nemeth and Matt Cardona reliving like a match that happened 12 years ago for the U.S. title. They had a pick your poison match. Nemeth won from a distraction from PCO because PCO was fighting Cardona for both his titles. Again, we'll mention more of that in it, but it's kind of, it seemed to be more of a go home show because it's just setting up things. There'll be the contract signings, I think, are going to be coming up. And probably the most important thing that happened that night is that Kazarian is the guest referee for Nemeth and Hendry, and he hates both of them, kind of like a CM Punk situation.
Right.
Where you don't know who he's going to prefer because he goes into it like with him in mind because he's just that selfish heel.
Yeah.
Kazarian is the I would say probably the best actual heel outside of Josh Alexander, which is interesting in the company. But I'd say that's the important stuff that happened. The few NXT mentions they had. There was a ABC and the Hardys are going to be in an 8-man tag. There was talking about Vikingo coming back. So pretty much just getting people ready for what's going to be happening in the future. And also, Rhino will be enshrined in the TNA Hall of Fame coming up.
Woo!
Nice.
So that's
Good
one
for
of the
Rhino.
other things that they
Yeah.
mentioned. Otherwise, yeah, I'll keep that to the amount of TNA that I'll talk about.
The gore is the best spear in the business.
It is. It
I think.
definitely is.
Yeah.
I don't like
Mhm.
Moose's and I don't like Lashley's for the same reason. Don't roll over into it. It just looks
Right.
silly. It just looks
Right.
silly. It doesn't look devastating. But yeah, that's the TNA bit. We all believe in Joe Hendry, and
We do.
it's feeling like shenanigans will be the reason why he doesn't win it, or the reason he wins it. But
Right.
either way, whoever wins faces Kazarian. It looks like so.
And that'd be
Interesting.
good.
Shout out to wrestlers way past their prime
Yeah.
going into business for themselves.
Man.
You know, he's Kazarian got a good look. He's a way better, kind of like Christian. He's a way better adult
Yeah.
wrestler than he was a kid wrestler.
Yeah. For sure.
Even 10
I
years
think
ago.
Kazarian's always been pretty amazing, though.
Even 10 years ago, Kazarian wasn't
Yeah.
as good as like right now. Just as far as like in on the mic and just coming into his own as a heel.
Right.
Yeah, I think a lot of people could take jot down some notes about his heel work.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it for that one specifically.
All right. So Bryan Danielson did end up retiring.
Really? So he's not a like part-time, or he's just like
Well, he's
straight
taking
up.
some time off. I think that they're gonna I don't know how much they're gonna, tie into it as far as, I mean, the guy got murdered on live television. So
Yeah.
when you die, it's hard to keep wrestling.
Except when you're Eric Young or PCO.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
or
Or
Kane.
the Undertaker. Or the Undertaker.
Yeah, or the baby Snitsky punted. The funny thing is, the baby Snitsky punted is actually
Yeah.
Austin Theory.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Good for
No,
Austin.
That's awesome.
Now I know why he looks like that.
Jeez.
Oh, speaking of the Bryan Danielson, I think we might have overshot the Wrestle Dream.
Yeah, well, that was kind of what I was trying to get into when I said
Oh, I hear you. Okay.
yeah, he died on live television. I mean, I guess I gave away the finish, but
It's not spoiler alert when we have internet and everybody knows everything, but when it happens.
yeah.
Do you want to do a quick rundown of the important things that happened?
I've got
Sure.
it right here.
And then possibly a little bit of this next what the Maple Leaf
Pro.
Fords and
Yeah.
Excellence night.
Scott
Yeah.
D'Amore.
Yeah, I'll run through this
Yeah.
this
Let's
card,
give our-
or the results from the card.
Yeah.
We'll give our
Please
little,
don't do the whole card, dude. It's like 18 matches.
Oh, it won't take me long.
Just hit
like
the
10,
highlights.
yeah.
No, just do the big ones.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see here. Mariah May defeats Willow Nightingale to retain.
Yeah. Okay.
Shenanigans.
Let's see. Jack Perry retains against Shibata, and that's not the bread.
Yeah, Jack Perry.
Fuck you, Jack Perry. Let's see. Young Bucks, of course, we all called that. They retained.
Yeah.
Briscoe, we called that one. He retained. So did Jericho.
They will have a rematch though,
Yes, they are having a rematch.
with
And-
a ladder mayhem.
Nice.
Ladder War, actually. It's called Ladder War. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're allowed to say war again, so.
Yeah, we can say war again.
Yeah.
What?
And of course, John Moxley defeated Daniel Bryan. Well,
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson's to win the AEW championship, which I called that.
I think
last
the only match that we got wrong was the triple threat.
Oh, about Ricochet.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that's the only. I think that's the only match that we didn't call. And that's pretty freaking impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, we had it down
Or-
pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Or
no,
Tell us
no.
how predictable AEW is. What are the other?
I was going to say, you are wrong. You are wrong because we all thought Atlantis Jr. was going
Yeah,
to.
we did. And
was
Brian
going to
Cage ended up
retain.
winning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, there was a few other big matches. The Washington Boys, Darby Allin and Brody King had a good match. I thought
Yes.
Brody King should have won, but he didn't because Darby
Yeah,
Allin
Darby
has
Allin
to win all the time.
Doesn't lose. Yeah.
Well,
Darby
he's
Allin
like-
doesn't lose.
So I figured out something with AEW. So Darby Allin
Mhm.
will win all the time, and so will Pac. The bastard Pac wins every freaking match. Every
Yeah.
match.
Wheeler Yuta.
Yeah.
Certain people they never want to see them lose. You know who
Yeah.
did lose though? Clean.
Who's that?
Hangman.
Yes, he did.
Right. And we didn't get
That's
that.
probably the.
Pages
That's
winning.
not even. I was gonna say that's not even. I don't even know if the Bryan Danielson thing is as big as that.
Well,
Right.
my biggest concern with that is you let Jay White defeat Hangman, but then on Dynamite you let him lose to the Patriarch.
Well,
Which makes
he
no
did take a buckshot lariat to the face from Adam
Yeah,
Page,
true,
and that's
true, true.
why. But the clean aspect, though, I think this leads to him being more unhinged.
Right.
And if that's the case, I like it.
Yeah,
I like unhinged Hangman. You know, the look in his face. It's way better than the Anna Jay look because
yeah,
Anna
we'll get
Jay
some
is
cowboy shit.
Anna Jay's starting to do this whole thing where she opens her eyes more during her vignettes. And I
Yeah.
kind of don't like it. Like she just looks shocked. She's like, "Wait, where are your pants?" That's
Yeah,
what it
her
looks
win
like.
over. She defeated Harley Cameron as well. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was a complete blah of a match, kind of.
Two very good looking women though. So I probably
Oh,
will watch
very
it.
much. I am more shocked. I don't like Harley Cameron because she keeps trying to encroach on my waifu Soraya.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Also, one more thing I'd like to say is this. Okay, so NXT are going to take things to the extreme next month in November.
Oh yeah, the ECW thing.
I seen that come up this morning too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they booked the ECW arena in Philly.
2300.
And the date is not yet confirmed, but it is expected to be Wednesday, November the 6th episode. So something to watch out for.
November to remember.
Yeah.
I really, really hope that Lexus King does another one of those gentleman matches at the ECW arena.
Oh God.
No, that'd be great.
That's what I'm looking for. That's the kind of stuff that I liked at ECW. When guys like Lance Storm would be like, I don't do this shit. I'm just gonna wrestle. Like that was the stuff that I enjoyed. So yeah.
Do you want to go indie spotlight or touch on Maple Leaf?
Let's do Maple Leaf now, I guess. Then we'll do the indie spotlight real quick.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so this is from Maple Leaf Pro, which is the Canadian syndicate of Scott D'Amore. If you remember that name, it's because he used to be the TNA guy.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be the head guy on TNA. People that they really liked working for him. And, you know, they were sad to see him go, but you can definitely see how much people respect him in the business because he has an entire TNA laundry list of people on his card.
Isn't he getting sued for something?
What's up?
Honestly, what?
I heard that he's getting sued for something. I read somewhere that he was being sued.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about that at all either.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just looking at the card briefly, this could end up being like the indie wrestling show of the year.
Oh, it's monstrous.
Yeah,
so let me
especially
let me mention this
right at the end of the year.
Exactly. So it's a two-nighter, right? So which is interesting because, you know, WrestleMania is a two-nighter and SummerSlam is going to be a two-nighter next year in Minneapolis, I believe. But really good matches. Cornball Bailey against Takeshita. That's an amazing one.
Yeah.
PWA, they're creating a new championship. PWA Champions Grail, that's what it's called. And then Rohan Raja against Jake something.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So possibly seeing some hardware on Jake something's waist, which would be good considering, you know, he right now is not doing as much in TNA as we thought he was going to at first. So let's see. QT Marshall against Bhupinder Gujar. Tables match, formerly known as Jinder Mahal facing Bully Ray.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's a good one.
For fatal four-way or four-way dance, however you want to call it. Laney Luck, Smiley Kylie Ray, Taylor Rising, and Aurora Tevez.
Oh, man.
Oh, nice.
That's a good four-way right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd want to be in that. Ooh-wee. All right, and Josh Alexander, Stu Grayson, and El Phantasmo, which is the 3 weirdest pairings you'll probably ever see in your life.
Yeah.
Just a
Good
person
match,
from the
though.
Northern Armory, a person from the Dark Order, and a person from Bullet Club against Trevor Lee, who we all
Oh,
know
nice.
is Cameron
Yeah.
Grimes, Rocky Romero, and Alex Zane.
Oh, wow.
Man.
That's gonna be a good match.
I'm telling you.
Dude, I
And-
want to go to Canada. Can I possibly go up to Canada
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
this weekend?
But here's something interesting, right?
Yeah.
This is throw a little bit of a loop. Two people, separate stars are they're doing double duty.
Okay.
So I'll mention the last mentioned card on night 1, which is tomorrow. Night 1, Giselle Shaw against Miyu Yamashita is the what I believe is the first match of that. I read it from main event down to like beginning of the
Gotcha.
card.
Yeah.
Night two, Giselle Shaw and Josh Alexander, who I imagine are going to be the winners in both of theirs,
Right.
they're going for titles.
Interesting.
So Giselle Shaw, who I imagine is not going to lose 2 times in Canada.
Yeah.
Giselle Shaw is fighting Athena for the
That's-
ROH title.
Okay. Wow.
Actually, Mike Cornball Bailey is also doing double duty. He's fighting El Phantasmo.
Okay.
For-
So
not
El
for a title.
Phantasmo would be doing double duty too.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
now that you mention
Wow.
it. That was actually something they changed it, actually. It wasn't meant to be that at first. I think it was supposed to be Mike Bailey versus Takesh. No, it was Takeshita and Mike Bailey the first night. The AEW International Championship is going to be in the line. Takeshita versus Josh Alexander.
Ooh.
Oh.
The Alpha against the Walking Weapon. That's the thing I would literally I'd risk going to jail to pirate that match.
Yeah.
That might be
For real.
the best match. That might be a 5-star match. That might be the best match of all in any indie card all year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Or an AEW title for that matter. And
That's
then
insane.
ROH title,
Yeah.
Athena versus Giselle.
It
So it'd be interesting. I don't
Definitely
see.
makes it relevant.
Yeah.
Good for Scott D'Amore, man. Jeez.
Yeah, good
Well,
job.
the fact that he was able to get Josh Alexander for both nights, obviously
Yeah.
they have the Canadians doing the double,
Right.
Mike Bailey's Canadian, Josh Alexander, obviously,
Yeah.
so-
And I mean, what impressed me too was he's got wrestlers from
Everywhere.
2 major companies. You know what I mean? At the very
pulling
least,
from-
TNA and AEW.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild, man.
Well, that's the cool thing about AEW and TNA is they both outsource those indie wrestlers a lot,
and
man.
they bleed into the indies,
Yeah.
like-
Yeah.
Like
So
Matt
it's-
Cardona's
It's
weekly. Matt Cardona's weekly on television, and you could see him doing it, fighting in Minnesota on an indie card that people
Right.
don't even know the name of the promotion.
NWA
And
is like that too. They'll incorporate a lot of indie.
Yeah.
Well, I think NWA is too indie to not.
Well, yeah,
Right.
true.
And I
feel
was
like-
going to say vice versa with AEW. Like, I've had a lot of friends who have gotten opportunities on AEW.
Yeah.
Without a contract. Like, they get to go on there and really, like, the Outrunners still don't have a freaking contract.
And
know
I
what I
love them,
mean?
man. They're
It's
probably
about
my
time.
favorite tag team.
Yeah. Yeah.
when they turn on FTR, it's gonna be the greatest thing on earth.
It is. And yeah, it's gonna be beautiful because I can't wait to see them guys as heels.
So, while we were talking, I briefly looked up. This is the only thing I could find involving a lawsuit in Scott D'Amore, or D'Amore. There's Impact and Jeff Jarrett are suing each other for some reason, and they're trying to depose Scott to testify in their
really?
lawsuit. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and that's the only thing. That's the only thing that I could find. So I don't think anyone's suing him. They're trying to get him to testify in a lawsuit between Jeff
Gotcha.
Jarrett and Impact.
Yeah, like I said, I saw something about sued, but I didn't get
Yeah.
really. I
I didn't read it because obviously I didn't have time to read a whole article. But yeah, Jeff Jarrett and Impact are suing each other for some reason.
Oh boy.
It's funny the last 4 minutes we've discussed three people that I never want to see on TV again.
And it's funny,
Yeah.
like, is Impact even a thing? Like, that's not even the name of the company anymore. So who exactly?
It's not, but then it's the name of the weekly show. It's called TNA Impact.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Kind
All
of how
right,
kind of how AEW is called Dynamite and or
gotcha,
Collision. Like Impact is
gotcha.
their
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I
So
think this is
yeah,
going to be yeah, I expect there to be Jake something as champion, and that is the only swerve.
can
Let's go,
you
Jake.
What's up?
can people watch this thing? Is it going to be on like Triller or anything? Like, how is the? Because this show sounds amazing.
Yeah, it does.
Let me see. I want to see if they say
Other than venturing to the Great White North.
it is on live on Triller TV, yes.
Gotcha.
Sweet.
Okay.
Both nights.
Okay. So people may want to hop on Triller and plop down their money for that because
I was gonna say this, well, just looking at it, right? Just looking,
yeah,
Jinder is Canadian.
yeah, yep,
Mhm.
yeah,
That's what
yep.
part of me just had to remember because on the poster, Kylie Ray, Takeshita, Josh Alexander, Cornball, Raj Desi, which is Mahal, Jake something, then Phantasmo, Athena, Kushida, and QT Marshall. Those are
Jeez.
all the people that are on the front. There's a
Jeez.
few other matches as well. It's just
Yeah.
I don't want to mention all of the just random ones.
Right, right, right.
But for the most part, those are the biggest. I'd love to see what the heck they're doing with Bully Ray and formerly known as Jinder though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's
interesting.
you said it was a tables match?
Yeah,
Oh,
tables
you know
match.
who's winning that.
Is
Jinder
Devon coming
Mahal by
out?
chicanery.
The weakest Colossus. He tries to break the table and he can't. The Colossus is probably top three worst
Yeah.
worst
Yeah.
executed.
Yeah.
But hey, yeah, that's the biggest. Actually, Trevor Lee is the one that's on there. I thought it was Jake something that I was looking at. Trevor Lee is the one that's on the
On the flyer.
instead of Jake something. Yeah,
Gotcha.
but
I'm
I
glad that he's back.
and he
So.
shaved his hair,
Yeah.
so he's not. I think he was actually decent in WWE, but they
Yeah.
didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
that's
too much.
exactly it.
There's too much good talent up there.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's tough.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I liked him, man. I
Yeah.
liked him ever since his first run in TNA.
Right.
I'm going to equate NXT to the Yankees, right? The Yankees were very good when they brought up the farm system. You know, they had Jeter, they had Pettit, they had Posada, they had Bernie Williams, they had Mo. They brought up the farm system. Farm system is NXT, right? But then they
Yeah.
had those years that they just got out. They were like, "Oh, let's get A-Rod, let's get Gary Sheffield, let's get Ichiro, let's get the Jason Giambi, all the craziest names you could think of in baseball they were getting. That's what WWE feels like. I feel like they're doing. You know, they're picking up all these big like Julia, Stephanie Vaquer. They're
Right.
picking up so many of these wrestlers that are big and you know, Lord knows who we're getting at Royal Rumble. Or if they're just
Yeah.
gonna like split it halfway down the line with TNA,
Yeah.
you know, or like NXT being more involved. But like I would rather them go through the farm system instead of keep just poaching top acts and trying to fit them where you can.
Yeah.
Just work with house money, work with what we have, you know, start to actually bring up the people from development and not
Hmm.
have like we have three-time champion Roxanne and three-time champion
Right.
Trick Williams leading
Right.
the way when they obviously need to be taking away TV time from Pure Fusion Collective and Otis and Tozawa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, let's stop. Let's cut the fluff. Why don't we?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let's cut the fluff. Let's stop. Let's actually work with what we have and see if it's going to be something.
I feel like Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez could have the most annoying segment in the history of television
Hmm.
if they were to put them together in some way, shape, or form. Like,
Very yappy.
Just the
Yeah.
promo that they would
yeah,
cut.
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
It
yeah,
would
yeah.
just be, it'd
Right.
be crazy.
My sassy face is better than your sassy face. Well, hey, I'm more cute and compact than you are. No. I
Oh
eat piece
man.
of poop. I eat piece of poop
Like,
like you for breakfast. You eat piece of poop for breakfast?
Ah!
No.
but yeah, that's oof, what a promo that would be, huh?
Right.
Nope, no thank you. I hope that Liv and Dom take take a break.
Yeah.
Just take a
Yeah,
break from TV. I don't want to see you no more. Whoever wins between Rhea and Liv, the fifth time in a row, whatever. As
Right.
soon as Rhea beats Raquel and takes her frown away, then we can move on and then never have to see Liv with a championship again.
Yeah. I did like Rhea's stuff on Monday. Um, watching her wrestle is just it always turns things around for me.
Mm.
I'm not a
I
big fan of her character all the time anymore, but dude, when she's in the ring, oh my God.
Well, because tough authoritative mommy works when you're not losing every other
Yeah.
week
Mhm.
to
That's right.
shenanigans. Like you're
Yeah.
just starting to look kind of stupid, like
Yeah.
it's like the big
Yeah.
dog that keeps getting poked by the bird. At some point, the bird's gonna be like, I don't respect you anymore. I'm just gonna fly away.
Right. Right. Right.
Like, how much respect can we give Rhea when she's only beating up security guards?
Yeah.
Fair. Fair.
That's all she's been dominating because she's obviously
Yeah.
better than Liv in every way and still can't beat her.
Right. And JD McDonough. She beats him up too.
That's the only reason JD was ever even put in there, so he can get folded
Beat
up
up
like
by
a
Rhea.
lawn chair.
Yeah.
Like
Sad.
sure thing, guy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So what do we got for the indie wrestler spotlight this week, man?
Okay, so Indie Spotlight. I picked Cruel, also known as Mads Kruger. He's 6'10", almost nearly 7 foot. He's been tearing the Indies up. A little bit older guy. He's about 39. Trained by Sean Hunter. Guy has been, I mean, he's just ruthless, but he's only good at certain kind of match types. But like, man, what he does, he's just destructive. He's like if he had a manager, a full-time manager, this guy, I think
Mhm.
would be an elite wrestler and would be probably on Monday Night Raw or AEW or TNA somewhere. He's really good.
So when you mentioned Cruel, I was like, I'm not sure that I know who that guy is, but I actually do remember him wrestling as Logan Creed. And I remember Logan Creed getting a lot of buzz a few years back. Um, like you said, he's a big monster. He's always going to be intimidating. There'll always be a place for him on the card. I mean,
Mhm.
so yeah, if he's on a card, it's worth checking out just for the spectacle of him, if nothing else.
Right.
Can I mention something about MLW, Major League Wrestling, since we're on the Contra unit, Mad Kruger, real quick?
Sure.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Mystico in Lucha Libre. Like I used to before when I was taking a hiatus from WWE because it just started to get too gimmicky and too racist.
Yeah.
Like I'm black and Hispanic, and they literally checked every box and like they were racist in every way you could be. And I was like, there's only so many times I want to see my people portrayed as morons before I'm like, yeah, let me just like watch something else.
Yeah.
So I started to watch AAA and CMLL, and Mystico was one of my favorite, and I believe he's Sin Cara, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when he beat he won for the first time. He had that amazing, he still does it, but he ended up never making it his finisher after a while. But it was that tilt-a-whirl where he goes around and does the the Fujiwara armbar.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a wild, the fact that he's 25 20 years later, actually, because I was watching it when I was in high school.
Yeah.
He's champion and in MLW.
Yeah.
By the way, MLW, have you seen who their champions are right now?
I haven't seen MLW in a while. I was watching it on Access for a little bit, but then I stopped. Or no, not Access, beIN Sports for a little bit, but then I stopped.
I try to keep track because I know Janai Kai. Like I followed her on Instagram, whatever. But
Yeah.
the fact that they have Satoshi Kojima as their champion,
Okay.
Minoru Suzuki is one of their world tag champions.
Nice.
And one of their main guys that they have on the roster is Matt Riddle.
Right, right, right.
And I believe Mads Kruger and Minoru Suzuki are in the
Right, they're
same.
in concert together. Yeah.
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 They
It's
also picked
funny.
up. There's a lot of real good. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of real good wrestlers on Major League Wrestling. I feel
Yeah.
like they gotta show them off a bit more.
Jacob Fatu was in Contra,
Hmm.
Well, yeah,
the
and
original incarnation. Yeah, with
mhm.
Simon Gotch and Jacob Fatu. And,
Yeah, but I feel like they're doing. No, they have a Joseph Samael,
okay.
but I think that there's a lot of real good wrestling out there if you know where to look.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
Isn't
that's
Minoru
one of our.
Suzuki like 300 years old too, and he's still wrestling? So good for him.
Man, that dude's
Yeah.
unbelievable, man. He's
Yeah.
I don't know who's older than him and Kojima,
Yeah.
because Kojima is this man is a living legend. This man
Yeah.
Right.
is up there. And I remember when he won it, I was kind of confused because didn't he beat Hammerstone?
Oh yeah, sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty sure that's who it was.
so yeah,
Well,
that's
Hammerstone was heading to TNA, so
I actually I have an idea. I'm gonna mention it real quick, but I have an idea for
yeah.
the indie spotlight.
Okay.
Alex Kane.
Sure.
I think I'd like to
Okay.
check him out because he was
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
he
Okay.
was champion not too long ago, and I feel like there's a bit more to him. I think he could be a
Alex
bit more.
Alex Kane complained last year about his spot on the wrestler to watch list.
Because
So,
he belonged to be up there a little higher.
yeah.
Technically, his promoter is Don King.
Nice.
Interesting.
Isn't that funny?
That is funny. Every time I hear Don King, I think of the buckwheat rap from when I was a kid, the Eddie Murphy buckwheat rap.
Well, oh yeah, but he's a part of the Bomaye, which is, if you remember that, it used to be
Yeah,
the Kinshasa's name,
gotcha.
but it's where it's it's an Ali George Foreman reference.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
all right. So
I'll write
next
that down
week,
for next week though.
Alex. Okay. Alex Kane.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We can talk about Alex Kane. All right, guys. I think
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's about it, man.
yeah, I gotta
Sorry,
eat
I was
some tendies.
little low energy today because I've had kind of a headache and stuff. But
Hey, stuff happens. Lord knows we've been going through a lot the last week, especially even today.
yeah,
Just even getting
yeah,
this off the ground.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
It's been something. That's for sure.
It's amazing.
But
I have two separate grown men asking me about our show and getting back on it, and I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
thank you. But I think we do a good thing here. Thing we want to do is we want to show off the great things about wrestling. There's more
yeah,
aspects than just it's more than just punching people in the face. It's a story. It's it's chapters ending and chapters beginning.
Hmm.
There's just, there's so much going on, and we do our best to cut through the fluff and get you what you need to know. So just
indeed.
keep checking us out, keep looking out for us, and let's do who wants to do a send off?
I feel like you just did. I was waiting for you to finish. I thought you were wrapping it up, dude. I was
That's
like,
Oh man.
Man, that's hard to follow.
yeah, I thought you. I was waiting for you to go. "Well, so we'll see you next week." And then you-
Okay, okay. If that's good, I'll pick up where I left off and I'll do that.
Alright,
So okay.
cool.
So yeah, like I said, wrestle is life. Skibbity wrestling. Free Gigi Dolan. Where's my hashtag? Where's my hug? Um, but yeah, from our extinguished panel, from Brent the Nightmare Ward, Keith Wildman Miller,
You know,
and myself, Pablo Aquino, we are the round table. We have gone round the table, and now we're going to do our best to get you as much content for next week. But Lord knows, with wrestling, there's always something to talk about because we could have gone for another 2.5 hours at this point.
for sure.
Yeah. Either way, though, we are happy for those of y'all that were able to last this long. If anything, take it a little bit of a time, like 45 minutes here and there, like get a drink of water, eat some chicken tendies, and come back and listen to the rest. But yeah, we appreciate everybody that listens and give us some feedback. Let us know if you like us, follow us, subscribe, check us out. Facebook page, Roundtable Wrestling, and we have plenty to do, plenty to cover, and wrestling is the best it's ever been. And if you're not on this train now, we're going to leave you behind.
Yeah. Get on or get out of the way.
Exactly. We appreciate y'all, and you have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Peace.
All right, later.